All right, episode 8. Um, let's get straight into it. Just like last episode, no need for an intro. Today we're going to start over here in India, who expanded decently last time, but that's nothing compared to what they're about to do right now. They are going to make some massive expansions over here in the north, taking over all this area. A lot of it's mountainous, but the green team ain't about to threaten them for it. They're just kind of trying to stay together. They're trying to be a functional kingdom. So they're not going to bother with the expansions of this country, but they are about to like double in size if they didn't already, because they are moving this way. And they're going to take like this much land. They have the means to do it, and they are doing it. They are expanding big time in the eastward areas. They will not be denied. There's no one over here to stop them either, so they're just going to kind of see all this land and be like, right for the taking. So they have like doubled in size, and they're just going to keep expanding to take this land. This time moving closer to the Indian subcontinent. They'll move down here along the coastline, and they'll just bit by bit continue taking the coastline. And they finally stop right about here with their expansion for this episode. Definitely big. Like I think they've like doubled or even tripled in size. Here, let's give them even more. They'll move up like over here, and they'll take even more. These guys are cooking. They're the fastest growing nation on this map, I would say. So that's pretty nice. Good for them. Um, Over here in Ukraine now, we're gonna see a pretty big event happen. A massive insurrection over here. Hold on, I get a good color. Over here in Estonia. Well, we'll have it start in Estonia, and then we'll pixel problems persist. Thought I was gonna have it fixed, but um, silver pixels. Let me move them. Um, I think they're done. Okay, there's more. All right. So these guys will start off as like Estonia over here in Estonia. They'll take the islands and everything. They'll even take this island over here, which these guys would be mad if they knew it existed. However, a massive chunk of provinces that are kind of far from Ukraine's control will opt to defect and declare independence and then declare themselves part of Estonia. And Estonia will be like, wow, that's great. This will make Ukraine mad, and they will send forces up to try and fight Estonia, but it doesn't matter because every time they get to the Estonia border, the troops are like, we like Estonia. We want to be part of their kingdom. And so these guys kind of just steal all of Ukraine's people. They're just, I guess they're just more popular. Any more popular if I could get the pixels colored in. So many pixels. Okay, that should be good. Or not. Okay, there we go. So by the time Ukraine stops sending so many forces up to try and deal with them, their border looks something like this. Like that. Oh, okay. It looks something like that. Estonia, Ukraine, definitely some beef, but Ukraine can't really mess with them right now. They're just trying to fix their internal issues from expanding so much. They'll continue their expansion over here this way, but for now we have Estonia, who's kind of the same color as the ocean, which I'm not super fond of, but it's fine, right? Actually, can I make them like a lighter color? That it's pretty similar to Ukraine. Maybe something like what color do I make? You know, that'll just have to be Estonia, the newest European lab. But over here in the west, we're gonna get back to France because their expansion over here in the British Isles is going pretty great. They're just moving up ahead, and they kind of stop here over by the Scottish Highlands. I think they start right about here. They might start down here. I don't know. They stop here. Uh, so they stop there. They don't go into Ireland. They don't go into the Scottish Highlands either. So they do that. But the reason they don't really keep expanding is because they have a issue in their southern area. They have a burgeoning country trying to break away, and they will. Um, Over here in Spain, a large chunk of the northern Spanish provinces along the Atlantic will break away and opt to be independent. And a very large chunk of southern France is like over here in the Mediterranean, a large chunk of them will also opt to join this insurrection, which will make them mad, so they'll send forces in. And their forces will do a lot of damage. In fact, they'll go down here and they'll go down here and they'll completely stop this from happening. However, they won't be able to completely push out the insurrection, and so they're forced to concede and let these guys be independent. And so we have Spain doing the thing. Their capital will be like right here. Right there. Perfect. So they're newly independent. I didn't give Estonia a capital, did I also left this giant arrow in the middle of Ukraine. Okay, wait, hold up. Because I don't want to undo all the Spanish stuff, I'm just gonna color in the arrow. And then I'm gonna give Estonia capital because I forgot. Sorry, Estonia. I will put it right about here. We'll put it right here. Perfect. Okay. Now we're good. Did I forget any country's capital? They gave these guys a capital, right? They don't even have a capital. Uh, Goof. I'm goofing today, guys. We'll give them a capital right along. Put it right here. Kind of inland, kind of not. Perfect capital. Did I forget anybody else's capitals? I think I remembered everything else. Yeah. Okay. So world's looking good. My math's looking fine. Good. Sorry, lost my train of thought. Okay. We're going over to the Caucasia country who's like Caucasia's like right here. And they're very quickly expanding into this Central Asian territory, but that's fine. They're gonna keep moving eastward. I need a bigger brush. So they'll keep moving eastward here, eventually reaching up with these lakes, which they will completely envelop and take for themselves, take for the country. And they're expanded pretty rapidly over here. The green country over here in the Caspian area. I guess I'll just call them Caspia. They are just struggling. They are not cooking. They are internally, they're kind of cooked. They are trying their best, but they're kind of cooked. We'll see what that ends up leading to, but it's a struggle. But these guys will expand a little bit north now. Develop here. Pretty cold up here, but still free land. They'll take it. Useful enough land. So yeah, we have these guys. They're pretty big. In fact, like 60% of their territory is even in Caucasia, but their capital is it's kind of on the fence. They're this is where they are. I mean, this red country over here used to be Thessaloniki, and now it's over here, and now it's just Bulgaria, I guess. So these guys, they're still Caucasian, but as for these guys down here, Punt Punt hasn't expanded in a while, but that's going to change now because they're going to move into the Ethiopian highlands, and they'll particularly be interested in moving along the coast of Somalia. They'll move farther down. They'll take a pretty big um, chunk of land in their voyage. They'll secure a large portion of it, and they'll keep moving inwards, kind of just securing all this mountain area. Whoa. We got lots of territory for old Somalia. I hate these pixels. These pixels will be the death of me. There we go. They're everywhere. But yeah, Punt makes some pretty big expansions down south. However, they're starting to lose control of a large chunk of their Arabian. The coastline is still pretty much fine. They're vibing on the coastline. There's a party along the coastline in Arabia. However, inland, terrible mess. They're struggling to keep this down. And these guys are probably looking at it, licking their lips like, no way. But for now, nothing happens. For now. As for the Romans expansion, they're doing pretty good. They just recently annexed Florence, and they're doing well in Africa. Their African colony isn't like what happened in real life. It's for the most part close enough to where it just kind of feels like a part of them. Kind of like Alaska, but opposite of Alaska. It's hellishly hot instead of hellishly cold. But these guys will not focus on the desert. They'll focus on securing as much land along the coast as they can. They'll move up here into modern day Senegal and secure the Gambia River. And it's a vibe. They're balling. We'll even secure these islands if I can color them. Kind of. Yeah, they're on the islands. They found them. They're discovered. Yeah, they're doing pretty good. They're oh my word. They're doing pretty good. I said that like 500 times now, but it's fine. The thing is, they control a large like chunk of Africa, and realistically, like there's a giant chunk of land that they just can't really secure because it's mostly desert. However, part of it's not desert, starting around here. So they're finally beginning their march eastward, securing all the land south of the Sahara Desert. We'll see how well that goes for them. But they are beginning their big voyage eastward. What will they find? Who knows? There we go. Oh, good. But yeah, Rome doing good. As for Bavaria, they got cooked in a war against the French. They were going to expand this way, but they went the United Kingdom, which borderline started the war, but France had been meaning to start something anyway, so they just used it as an excuse. They weren't that mad. But these guys will start moving up into Sweden, and they'll take a lot. They'll secure everything up here. They'll oh my god, they'll actually move all the way up here, and then they'll stop because it's too cold anywhere north of that. But they keep securing Nordic land, and they secure a lot of Nordic land, and they're moving to Norway. And then as soon as they move to Norway, their Nordic claims kind of don't want to. They kind of want to be independent, which does make Germany, Bavaria, Germany mad. So they'll kind of just hold on to them in that fist, but keep an eye on that. I don't know why I did that, but keep an eye on that. They might be breaking away sometimes. Whereas like Africa's pretty secure under Rome's control. Next up, we're gonna see a. I don't like when it does like the weird sliding thing. I don't know if that actually shows up on the recording, but I imagine it does. But next up, we will see a union, a very big union between these guys, North Turkey. Yeah, North Turkey. Oh my God, what is even going on there? Look at all this. Why is it like that? It's messy. Anyways, North Turkey will be united with Rhodes over here in South Turkey, forming the Union of Anatolia. I think I just lost something. No? I think I clicked the undo button one time, so maybe slight border change. Okay. Anyways, these guys will be united into Anatolia. We'll be keeping this color. Yeah. So, Rhodes will. I have to do this bit by bit on time. Bro. Oh my god. I have to do this bit by bit. Oh my god. This is so dumb. Why can't it just work? This is cooked. My word. This is taking forever, I swear. Um, but these two will be united into Anatolia, the Empire of Anatolia. And this will make them very strong. This will make them like top three. We'll do a power rankings after I get done with this nightmare. Alright, no, so you can tell that that's. Maybe I'll fix it in post, but for now, there they are, Anatolia. They're not just North Turkey. North Turkey was that color. North Turkey was the main one behind the Union, but there they are, Anatolia. So looking at the power rankings right now of like the country strength, I think that number one is probably even after all this time still Olympia. I am struggling so much with the colors today. I'm just gonna go into the middle of Siberia to do the power rankings. Free real estate. So one would be Olympia. If I can spell it with my cursor. You know, I'm just gonna say it by mouth. Olympia is number one. I'm gonna say this new Anatolian Union is two. Egypt is three. These guys over here in India are probably number four. And then probably Rome is fifth. I think, yeah, that makes sense. Rome is probably, and then six would be like either Eritrea, Punt, or the Arabian country. Speaking of which, I never got rid of this capital over here. Boom, goodbye. So this new Anatolian Union is definitely gonna make Olympia feel kind of scared. They're like, shit, that's a very powerful country on the border, and this kind of creates a rivalry, right? Because we have like number one country versus number two country. So Olympia will take their anger out on this Slavic country, the one that just formed like last episode. They will immediately get invaded. Olympia will move all their forces in, secure the capital, secure all the coast. Reem tries to move in, but Olympia's faster than them, and they just completely secure all this land. Oh wait, I think I can kind of see the color difference. Let's just do like a switch it to like black as the secondary color, so that we can see what we're. No, 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 no. Okay. What in? Why is it like this? Look at that. I'll fix the color in just a second. Because my word, why is it like that? Oh my gosh. Whew. Okay, well, guess I'll just color it back in. I gotta fix the glaring problem with it. But yeah, these guys, Olympia, they invaded another country to secure the land because they felt threatened by the presence of the Anatolians. And okay, hopefully that's better. Hopefully that fixed something in Olympia because the colors were terrible. But ironically, it's kind of self-fulfilling. But Anatolia now feels scared by Olympia's expansion, and so they're looking to form an ally. So they send out a proposal to Egypt, like, "Hey, want to be friends?" And Egypt kind of shrugs them off. They're like, "No, we really don't. No, thank you." Anatolia's feelings are hurt, but they will soon find an ally over here in this red team. This red team wants the guarantee that if these guys, the Olympians, invade them, that Anatolia will invade them back. They're looking for an alliance, and so they get that. And so feeling kind of not yeah cocky, they feel cocky, um, and so they're gonna declare war on these guys, this country. However, they won't do it alone. They won't declare war on South Hungary alone. They're gonna get North Hungary in on it, and North Hungary is really good. Actually, I guess they're like weird Belarus Hungary thing. I don't even. Actually, I think Belarus is over here. Whatever. These guys aren't going to be rolling in. This red team will initiate the violence by moving up this way. They'll move along the Ukraine border and they will quickly secure a healthy certain size of territory, particularly along the pixels. The pixels! I've been complaining about it for like 2 episodes now. There's so many pixels. I can't take it anymore. But these guys will move here. They're going to be the ones to get the capital if I could get there. Sort of stupid pixels, but they will get there. They will capture the capital city. Okay, they got it. They got the capital city. They took care of it. And now these guys will be taking care of us. They'll just move on in. Hungary's kind of got their fill. They don't really have the manpower or the drive to move any farther south. So these guys will take care of it in their stead. Oh, this is so bad. Like, why is it like this? This might take a minute. This is so annoying. Okay, no, we're going in. I'll keep talking about it, but so now these guys share a very long border with the country of Olympia in the south. They, I don't know if Olympia would feel too scared. I mean, they could probably destroy these guys pretty easily. But they would at least feel annoyed. Like maybe they wanted to expand northward, but now they're kind of stuck because if they do, they'll also have to go to war with Anatolia, which they don't really want. They're not ready for that. Yeah, they have a long border with Olympia. Oh, thank goodness I called Olympia. Okay, so yeah, now they're looking very long, very Chile-like. So Olympia is also looking to have a friend, and the friend they're gonna make, they want someone that will be able to help them if they were to declare war on Anatolia. And that country that they're gonna get would be these guys over here, the Azerbaijan country. So we have like a strong country with a weaker friend who shares a long border with the country they hate. That's basically the case for both sides. So yeah, definitely cooking. Anyways, that is going to do it for this episode. However, we will end with one final event. I know I started the video by having to expand, but I think in order to not, well, in order to not make this series like too slow in progression, I'm just gonna speed up these guys' expansion. Whoop, whoop, and whoop, whoop. That is so much land, and that probably took like a decade to acquire, but they get it all. They haven't reached Sri Lanka yet, but they have secured all that. But yeah, they are balling. Whoa, what the settings? Anyways, that should do it for today's episode. Smash the like button or something. I don't know. Anyways, see you.